going?
Good, yourself?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Been a busy day. Yeah, how about you?
Yeah, mate, it's busy. Busy. It's
Busy.
kind of like you think you caught up on things, and then all of a sudden, like you missed a bucket load of stuff.
That. It's good to hear it doesn't change.
No, I think
Find
you know what. No matter whether you're a big organisation, a small organisation, a vendor, a customer,
Yeah,
I think everybody at the moment is just very busy.
yeah, yeah. I think something I'm noticing already is that our quarter is pretty much halved, right? You got about 45 days to get shit through the door. Otherwise, no one's sort of replying, especially up in Queensland as well. People have to. I think towards the end of the because I work with a lot of the Queensland. Like I think because I mentioned to you that I work with Jacob pretty closely.
Yep.
And I know you and Jacob work together on a lot of different deals as well. So I think it's been a bit of the push as well recently to just get things going before things come to an end. But
Yeah.
look,
Yep.
thank regardless, I really appreciate the fact that you're willing to make time as well for something like this. Um, I'm super excited to sort of get things going. I've already spoken to a couple of. I think I had a CISO jump on as well recently. I'm not sure if you saw. So
I did
we've got
check
a
out
lot.
some of your posts, mate.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's it's going well. It's going good.
yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. Look, honestly, the main message and the main message of the podcast is to help people like myself, early starters in the industry, 0 to 5 years, that are new to cybersecurity, and want to sort of build good relationships with their customers, with their clients. So I'm not only just speaking to the sellers, but also to the buyers as well, so we can sort of fill in this gap and sort of understand, how we can go about doing this. I've been in sales beforehand, but I've never been in an industry where your customers know more about your products than you do. So it's actually very challenging to build a good relationship with someone when they know more about your stuff than you do sometimes. And I feel like you're always learning. So um, the, the way I sort of planned this out for today was we just do a little bit of your journey, like just understand, how you got here, your career journey, what does trust mean to you, how you go about building trust with your customers, how the industry has evolved over the years. Uh, you know,
Yep.
you've been in nearly 20 years, just over 20 years. So how cybersecurity has evolved, and how perhaps the relationships you're building with people have evolved as well. And then the final touch point would just be like some advice that you want to give if you're in my shoes, this is, or to the future generation in general. So
Yeah. Well,
that's sort of yeah,
yeah. It's
please.
it's good to hear you doing this because there are a lot of young people that are obviously coming through now, um, and we need them because you know what, like the cybersecurity is going to continue to grow. We need to get more people into the industry and more people focusing on, I guess, today and the future of what's coming. Um, I guess yeah, a bit of background. Like, I'd say I've really only been invested in cybersecurity for probably the last 5 years. Prior to that, my background is I was a network engineer. First started system engineer, pre-sales. Then I joined Oracle in Oracle Communications, and they started to provide a lot of security around their voice platforms, being their Acme Packet SBCs. And then they got into SD-WAN with the acquisition of Tulare Networks. And then from there, I went on and joined Palo Alto Networks, where I spent 2 years. And obviously, Palo is probably the biggest cybersecurity company in the world. Like you've got your Fortinets, you've got everybody else, but I think by far most people recognise Palo Alto Networks as the leader in the firewall space, and certainly trying to be a leader in some of the other areas around ZTNA, um, incident response. Yeah, so it's certainly a big organisation. And then and then I finished at Palo Alto Networks, and I decided with a colleague to start AltTab. So we're 2.5 years old now, and we have a big focus on, I guess, where Charles and I first started our careers, networking. And then the next pillar we both went into, which was security. And then another pillar which we have, which is cloud, which is, we've all been involved in cloud, but it's really, it's such a big space like cybersecurity, which are the areas you really want to focus on. So it's going well, and it's always great to catch up with you, mate. And have a chat about what our customers are looking for, and what you're seeing in the market as a young guy trying to get into the cybersecurity space as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Just a question there. So I mean, in the duration of your time being in the IT sector, cybersecurity has only been sort of a focal point within the last 5 years, was it? Did you mention?
Yeah,
So
definitely the last 5 years.
what sort of inspired that transition? Was it just natural, or was it something that you found that this is an opportunity that's being underserved?
It's probably a bit of both, to be completely honest. Everybody, 5 years ago, cybersecurity was, becoming the number one priority for organisations. And then also at the time, I was lucky enough to pick up a role with Palo Alto Networks, which was specifically focused on, on cybersecurity. And at the time, they were looking for people to come with experience working in customers, in other vendors, maybe not so much with a cyber background, because that's where they could teach and I won't say mold, but get you focused on the areas that they see as their core business. But yeah, it's like since I first started to work with customers on cybersecurity, it's a growth area. It's a growth area. The next one will be AI, but in the middle there will be AI and cybersecurity, which is what we're starting to see now.
Right. I mean, that raises another interesting point. Like, what's your vision for the roadmap for where the industry is going to head?
Yeah, that's a great question, because I think at the moment it's all up in the air. I think what I see. I personally, just my belief, I see AI being able to do a lot of the mundane day-to-day activities. So, a lot of things maybe that the SOC does, like a SOC engineer comes in the morning, goes through the logs from last night. There's probably 1,000, 100,000, however many there is there, and identifies which are the ones they need to look at, which are the ones that they need to spend some time investigating. That might take them 30 minutes, an hour, all day. I think that's where the AI tools come into it now, to take away a lot of that mundane work that is just repeatable. What was this? Cool. All right, go have a look. Do the lookup. Is it a current vulnerability? No. Okay. I probably should put that as a priority for someone to action. So, taking away a lot of the hard lifting work that is something that the machine can do, and then just giving a person the ability to focus on what they should be doing.
Right. So a lot of the simple day-to-day tasks are going to be taken over within security. I know that a lot of the people I speak to are really focused on AI at the moment as well. Is that some of the points of focus that your current customers are sort of pushing towards? Is that a concern for customers of yours?
It's not a concern. I think it's more of a opportunity. So, and that opportunity is around, okay, where are the use cases and where are the quick wins? Like I read all the stats that like if there's 100 AI opportunities out there at the moment, that 99 of them are fail, because they didn't actually define what they were trying to achieve and trying to deliver. So the opportunity that we have at the moment as an organisation is to work with those customers and actually be independent from them, i.e. customer says, you know what, like I've got this problem. They've got their own people internally that have probably been looking at AI, probably been playing around with some things, whereas we can come in and say, all right, so what's the objective? What are you trying to achieve? Okay, so AI can do that, or it can do part of it, or you actually might need two different types of technologies to actually get that outcome for you. So that's, I think, where an organisation like ours comes into it. And then when it comes to cybersecurity, that's really where we're playing at the moment. Where can AI offer some value to you? All right, so you've got massive log files. Someone scrolls through those, writes scripts, or whatever it might be. Is that something that AI can be doing? You can have an agent that's actually every day going through doing that. They can do it faster than what we can. Like, we can only type so quickly on a keyboard. The machines can do it far faster than what we can. The piece they're missing, though, AI, it's machine learning and the languages. It doesn't have that ability that humans have at the moment to actually identify something and say, cool, that's an anomaly that I've seen before, or it doesn't fit into the model that I'm using. So what do I do with it? Whereas a human will be, cool, I'll dig into that. I'll then look at maybe a different system or something that AI doesn't have access to be able to really define what it is that's happened.
Right. And just listening to you now, I can tell when you're probably speaking to a customer, you're always very objective focused, it sounds like. Just wanted to understand, like, when you first speak to a prospective client or potential customer, what's sort of the mindset and some of the things that the foundational sort of platform you want to create when trying to identify how we can best serve this person?
Yeah, like if I'm talking to a customer that I don't know.
Yeah, for the first time.
My first approach is getting to know them.
Yeah.
Not getting to know their business. It's actually getting to know the person that you're going to be working for or working with. It's around building that relationship that goes beyond, I guess, business. So that like once you start talking to them about business, they understand that you are trying to help them. You're not just trying to sell them something. You're trying to help them achieve what their end goal is. So it's like, have you got a family? Have you got young kids? Like, both young kids are trying to build that interaction that we have a connection. And then when you get to the business side of things, you're kind of leaving them with the ability to say that, you know what, if I have an issue over here, or if something doesn't go right, I can actually pick that person up, have a chat to them, and they've got my back. So that's usually the way that I try and build it. And it might be the second or the third meeting before we're actually talking about what their challenges, what their pain points, or what's their biggest risk at the moment.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's defining, what are the things that that could be a quick win, and what are the longer term plans you might be able to talk to them about, and then positioning it as in, all right, here's day 1, here's day 30, here's day 60, here's day 90, to try and give them the end result that they're looking for.
Right. And that I think that totally resonates from what I've seen of you as well, Simon. I've had a colleague of mine who also went to AltTab Island, which looked awesome. Like, I think I was, me personally, I think I was a little bit jealous myself. So, I mean, that whole trip, I think did you correct me if I'm wrong, but from when I did some research, did you bring your family as well along on that trip as well, or was that on a separate trip?
No, that's a separate trip, but we are for AltTab Island 2026. So was it August 26th to 28th next year? I think that's the dates. We're going to have it so that customers can come along, and then on the day that we wrap up, they can actually bring their family over, and they can spend the weekend there with their family. Give any of our staff the ability to do the same. So go from that that business environment in a very relaxed location to continue on, have your family there that you've been away from for 2 or 3 days, and then spend some time with them at the same place. So that's it's we're trying to create something a little bit different where everybody has to work to pay for their family and pay for houses and just to live. How can we make it that you can combine two things together?
Yeah.
So, come along for a couple of days, learn some new technology, talk to some executives,
Yeah.
talk to executives in the same area as you, so other customers, hear from some customers, and then once it all wraps up, then bring your family along.
Yeah.
They can experience what you've just experienced for the last few days on this type of island.
And I think it's a brilliant way to do it, and I think you're actually taking it to the next level of actually integrating, building a good relationship by bringing families involved. I also saw that your wife's part of the business as well. She's a project manager as well.
Yep.
Is that correct? Yeah. So
Yeah, that's correct.
It almost reminds me of, like, when you walk into like a small, like it's like a small business, and it's like a family owned business, and when you walk into a family owned business, there's automatically, I feel like you're what they call, like, you smell like a salesperson, that automatically that sales resistance goes down. I feel when people see that there's family, it seems very family orientated, and that seems like a big part of your sort of mission and your objective when you're dealing in business as well.
Well, when Charles and I started this business, one of the things that we wanted to create was a culture.
Yeah.
And not just a culture that you put up on a wall, but one that everybody is invested in themselves. So, like our second employee was a mother that wanted to get back into the industry. She was doing a lot of operational stuff, and we were like, well, you know what, we're 2 months old, we don't have that much work. Are you happy to do 3 days a week for us? And she was very happy just to be able to get back in and work back in the field. And then she's now full time, has the ability to drop the kids off at school, pick the kids up. It's really around all of our staff do the work that's required of them.
Yeah.
They can still live and do everything they need to around their job. So we do have a you can work from anywhere. We do like people to come to the office. The work anywhere is really around if you're going to see family down in Sydney. Well, if you want to go work from down there for a couple of days, go nuts. We don't mind. If you want to go to the coffee shop and work from a coffee shop, go. That's fine. It's kind of I guess the thing that we're really trying to invest in and understand, like I guess a lot of companies is, we like people to work from the office because it's hard to build a culture without people being together.
Yeah.
And that's more about, let's go have a coffee, what are you working on? So how you can bring people back together, but still give them the ability that they can work from anywhere. I guess the anywhere, though, is not so much home.
Right.
If that makes sense. Home is home.
Yeah.
Lots of people these days have been working from home for such a long time since COVID that, they I don't know, how do I put it? They struggle to distinguish home from work. So they might actually be still working at 7 o'clock, or they might get up really early and work really early because they can just get up, go to their desk, start working, and they forget that that there's a time for work and there's a time for family.
That's such an important distinction. I've actually, this is the first time hearing about that. Do you want to explain a little bit, because I've never heard that before. As someone who's raised it, my dad works from home, and he works nonstop some days. Like right now he's working on a project. I've seen him work weekends. You know what I mean? Like he's sitting there, he's got the cricket on, and he's just working behind his laptop. But there's no distinction between the home and the office.
So that's right. So we say to our staff, look, work from home. Like if you've got a sick child, or you've got like a plumber or a trade coming around, then work from home, because you can still do your work. You can be there for your family, your child, whatever it might be, or someone to come and do some work. But outside of those types of things, do you really need to be home?
Yeah.
Yes, no. That's the call that you make. But when you work from home, do you know when to switch off? And that's, I think, since maybe early COVID, that's a piece that a lot of people that work from home are maybe missing. Is okay, you know what? Like not 9 till 5, but outside of this piece of work that I've just finished, I'm actually switching off, and I'm invested now in everything outside of work. So, and it's hard to try and I don't know, to bring that up with staff, because some staff will be like, oh, I just want to work from home. Just trying to educate them around, yeah, cool, well that's great, but are you working from home because you need to be there for something else? Or are you just working from home because you don't want to come to the office? And if you don't want to come to the office, is that because you don't want to, and I don't want this to sound bad, but you don't want to put the effort into getting into the office, or getting dressed, or something like that, which potentially does that impact some of the work you're delivering? Right? If you can't make the effort to get into the office, or get dressed for the day of work, does that then impact, like, that project, I'll do that piece of work tomorrow. Like, it's kind of distinguishing home, work, how you can bring them both together, but very much keep them separate. Otherwise, your family can be impacted, and your work can be impacted.
And at the end of the day, Simon, you're actually looking out for your staff. Like, they might not even realize this, but just from what I'm hearing here, this ethos you've created, where you want your staff to distinguish between their home and work, and that sort of, if anything, you're looking out for them, and that comes across just based on, when we just spoke about AltTab, and what your plan is for next year, how you want people to be able to bring their families along. It sounds like this type of ethos carries in internally and through your customer relationships.
Well, that's right. Like our customer relationships, so we treat our customers like we want to be treated ourselves. Treat them like family. If they've got a problem, like your family's got a problem, you want to get in, you want to help them. It's about creating that big community. Everybody that's in that community is supporting everybody that's in that community. And we do say to a number of our vendors that we work with, what are you going to get? Like, what's going to make you money next month? Like, what is there a product? Is there a service out there that's going to help you make or hit your number? Cool, great. Tell me what that is, because we'll go spend some time focusing on that with our customers and see if there's some opportunities there. Because we know if we help that person in that organization, at some stage it's going to be returned back the other way to us. So, if we can help a customer, if we can help a partner, a vendor, a staff member, then that feels really good.
That's great. Do you have any? I was just going to ask if you have any stories that you'd be willing to share. You don't have to disclose names or anything, but if you have a story where you've helped someone out and that's sort of come back to you in a certain way, I'd love to hear if you have anything that comes top of mind.
Well, I'll try and put it in two ways. First one being, Charles and I have had a lot of people help us get to where we are today. So, both of us have been in the tech space for 20 to 25 years. We haven't, we've been managers, we've been salespeople, we've been pre-sales, we've done all these different roles, but there's always been people help us in our journey get to where we are today. And AltTab, we have a business advisor and a finance guy, Lee, who helped us get to where we are today. He reviews everything we do. He gives us advice. He said day one, when we first gave him our business plan, we said, all right, so for the first 12 months, we're going to sell some tin and some software. And then year two, we'll sell some professional services. And then year three, we'll sell managed services. And he pretty much took our business plan and just flipped it on its head and explained to us that if you sell managed services from day one, most likely means you're going to sell professional services to go with it, and also means then you're going to sell the tin and the software. So, having someone that could give you that type of guidance was valuable for us from day one. And then I guess from our side of things, there's a few people in the vendor world that we've worked with where they've said, I've got a 100K deal, I've got to get across the line this quarter to make my 100%. And you know what, we've got 4 sales guys. We'll we'll go out there and we'll tap all of our customers to say, hey, look, is this of interest? Are you doing anything in this space? If you are, cool. When are you looking to do that? All right. Oh, and then you always come across that that being in the right place at the right time, asking the question, and being able to find that opportunity and help that person out.
That's Simon. That's brilliant. It's you're a middleman, and through the middleman, like not into, correct me if I'm wrong as well, but
No?
because of your expand, no, that's exactly what it is, right? You're acting
Yep.
as the middleman, and there's no inherent direct short-term benefit for you, but the relationship that you're building out of that by helping someone, just by connecting to people, is you can't forget that. That's lifelong. Would you agree to that?
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's about building that relationship, and you know what, in both those cases, for us and potentially for that person that hit the 100%, you know, like it's great for them, and it's great for us because we potentially have a new relationship with a customer or
Mhm.
another field that we may not have had a conversation with them. So everybody does end up winning from it, and it puts a bit of a focus for us. Okay, so you know, we're trying to help this person for the next few weeks. Let's go talk to our customers about X, Y, Z. Um, but then that X, Y, Z leads to other opportunities. That's the piece
Yeah.
that a lot of people don't really think about, is if we pick up the egg, potentially we're going to pick up the chicken. So it's more than, for us, it's more than about just that one little piece. It's that one little piece leads to a lot more.
Yeah. I like that. I like
So,
that. Pick up the chicken and pick up the egg
yeah,
and get to the chicken.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's that old
No.
saying. Which comes first, egg or chicken?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I guess in your case, the egg, but it leads to the chicken.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. It does. It does in our case. So yeah. Yeah, but you know, like, and how are you finding things, mate? Like, this is what, you're only a couple of years into the
Not even.
cybersecurity industry. Not
Not
even?
even.
Okay.
Simon, not even. I would say coming onto 1 year. Coming onto 1 year. I'm glad it seems longer, because I'm trying to immerse myself and try to speak to as many people as possible. Um, but it's relatively new to me. But I run into a lot of times when I'm speaking to someone. What I find is that, perhaps they're not looking for anything from a cybersecurity perspective. Just speaking to you right now, I can already learn that maybe instead of trying to approach things from what am I trying to get across, I need to start understanding what's this person wants. Like, what are the needs in this person's life, and can I help them? Right? It doesn't
Yeah.
have to directly benefit me, because indirectly I'm establishing a relationship. An example could be things like incident response. So one of the things that I tend to encounter is, if I'm on the phone with someone, it might be that they're not looking for any type of security product at the moment. They're actually in the preemptive stage where they don't even know what they need. So perhaps there's an opportunity for me to then connect them with the right person, because there's a number of different incident response businesses, to connect them to the right person, and then to capitalize on, even if they don't work with that person, perhaps there's an opportunity for me to try and help someone, and then maybe later down the line that can also benefit me, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe that's, I'm just sort of getting
Well,
some feedback from you, yeah?
you'll be interested to know. I don't know whether you saw it or not, but I found it in the portal today. The Cloudflare incident response team.
Yeah,
You
right.
guys now offering it. It's like,
It's
I
a
found
new
it
offering.
today. You're doing incident response, pen testing, threat intelligence. Yeah, there was, like, I was just like, whoa, mate, like, this is awesome. It's another thing that's been added that we can talk to customers about.
It's definitely, I think we keep trying to expand our product offering, and to be honest with you, I can't keep up. Like, so yeah, I really can't
So
keep up.
so what's the one thing, like, you're 12 months into the field of cybersecurity and talking to people about it and selling cybersecurity. Um, what's been your biggest challenge?
I think I would say not getting into too deep of waters that I don't understand, knowing when to draw the line and say, look, I don't know more than this, right? I can't, this is the point. So finding the timing. So look, obviously, as a BDR, my role is to help my account executives to book meetings, right? To book qualified meetings.
Yeah.
Sometimes I try to use the tools that we have, and I want to seem, in order for me to seem like a trusted advisor, I want to seem like I know what I'm talking about. And I think one of the new challenges that I'm encountering is to be a trusted advisor, you don't actually have to know everything. You just need to
Yep.
know when to say, I don't know this, and I need to bring in someone else. So,
Yep.
so that's sort of like I would say one of the biggest challenges, because I'm speaking to people sometimes, and after a certain point, I don't understand what they're talking about, you know, and I and I find it a bit embarrassing almost, because I don't know what to tell them. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. So I have the
You know
Gemini.
what?
Yeah,
That's that's how you build trust.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
if you can be open and transparent and honest with a customer when you're talking to them, then they go, oh, cool. He's not just trying to sell me something, because it's the salespeople that think they know everything, that will have an answer for everything, that usually the ones that don't succeed, because they'll make one sale, but then the customer will be like, man, I'm going to deal with someone else because I didn't get actually what I was after. Whereas if you can be open, transparent, yep, I can talk to you about this. A good example that I make it is a doctor. So you go to a doctor. A doctor knows, the general medical stuff, and then they might have a specialist field. So that they might have, an area that they specialise in, which might be, I don't know, knees or diabetes or whatever it might be. But everything else, they then go, all right, I'm bringing the specialist in, or I'm referring you to a specialist. And then you go back to that doctor after you've been to that specialist, because they're the trusted person in your community. As a salesperson, that's kind of what we need to be. We need to be that, first point of call, knowing that you're going to bring in the right people who can actually help, and then you come back to that trusted resource. That's a simple way I try to look at it, and position it with people.
Do you still encounter that challenge when you're speaking to people after 20 years?
Yeah, like, what, you can, no one's an expert.
Yeah.
A lot of the people that we deal with today are people that we've dealt with over the last 20 years that
Yeah.
have the trust that, we're not going to, that we're there to actually help them. So I still take that approach. If I'm talking to a customer, I've got pre-sales guys that can be brought in. I've got specialist guys that can be brought in. I've got vendor specialist guys that I can be brought in. Behind all of us is a big community that it's just about bringing them at the right time to use them.
I spoke to another guest that I had coming on. He had a real estate background, and one of the things he was telling me is the big difference between real estate and tech is that in real estate it's just you. It's just you. There's no real team, but in tech you always have a team. And one of the big things that good salespeople, one of the things that I've heard consistently from good salespeople is that you're actually a bit more like a project manager in the tech space, where you've got your solution engineers, you've got your customer success team, you've got your BDR, and it's about making that team sort of work together, and bringing the right pieces in at the right time. That's sort of what I've heard.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's like, it's a puzzle, and you've got to bring everything together to complete it. So, you can put it down as like a project manager or a coordinator, or sometimes you refer to these like I'm the bridge. Like I'm the bridge that's going to bring the two islands together, and those two islands are you as a customer and you as a specialist in that field.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely.
But like I said, here's something for you, and this is very off topic. I was lucky enough 2 weeks ago to listen to a guy who would talk about ZTNA, and I've latched onto this because I think it's absolutely amazing. So he said, what's like we all know, ZTNA is not a product. It's a whole heap of different things that are brought together. He said, here's an easy way to do a analysis of it and talk to a customer. You're flying from Brisbane to Sydney. You go to the airport, you go to your Virgin or your Qantas check-in, you have to show your driver's license or show proof of who you are. They give you a ticket. You then go to the security gate. You have to, take everything out of your pockets. You have to, put your bags on, take your jacket off, your belt, whatever it might be. You go through security. You then get to where you're boarding the plane. You have to scan your ticket, get verified who you are, and then you get to walk down the alleyway to the plane. You get to the plane. They then check your ticket, make sure that who you are, and then tell you which seat to sit in. That's what ZTNA is. It's like you are the same person, but every step in the journey, you're being verified, you're being checked, you're making sure that everything is correct. So I was like, that's a very good way to put it into something that anyone can understand, because it's the experience that we all have to go through. Like, why is it that I can't just go get my boarding pass and just get on the plane? Because you've got to be checked each step of the way. So yeah, if you ever talking to a customer and they're like, oh, so what is ZTNA? You can try and come up with something similar to that and pitch it to them so that they understand that it's not just one thing, it's multiple things and multiple steps to be allowed to do what you're trying to do.
Metaphors really stick. I think metaphors are such a simple way for not only me to remember them, or for people that perhaps are not familiar, but it's the best way to get your message across as well. Do you have any other sort of metaphor? Like, this plane metaphor is great for ZTNA. Do you have any other go-to metaphors that you typically reference for people that perhaps are not familiar with certain products or features?
Probably, but not off the top of my head. That one's just been in there for the last couple of days, because I've had that conversation a few times in the last 2 weeks. So what else is there? I'll leave it at that. That one sounded good. I'll just leave it at that one.
And I think sorry?
I was going to say, man, it's an amazing experience. It's not it's certainly not easy. I now look at it and I say, look, we've got 22 staff. So there's, take Charles and I out of that. There's 20 families that we're supporting. So all of a sudden, it kind of, you sit there and you go, holy hell. We're now supporting 20 families out there. So it's exciting, it's challenging. It's just about getting the right people around you. But my advice would be, do it. You got to, at some stage in your career, find a little niche on a business or something you think you can tap into the market with, and then go do it. That's how we started. We went, all right, there's been all these tier 2 system integrators that have been bought by the tier 1s, and they left a huge gap in the market. And that's the gap that we're coming in and trying to fill, because most customers don't want to deal with the tier 1. I'll say them, like your CyberCXs, your Oros, your Telstras, your NTTs, your Nexons, whatever it is, because they're so big and they've got processes that they just can't act as quickly as what the tier 2s come in and do. So we can have a conversation with the customer today and we can have a quote turned around for them in an hour or two, and a statement of works in 4 or 5 hours, whereas the tier 1s, that they have a lot more approval processes, a lot more things that they have to go through before they can turn it around. So that's just a bit of an advantage that we see that we have in the market, and it's working quite well for us at the moment. But like I say to everybody, we're doing really well today, but tomorrow things could change.
You have to live with purpose in life. And I think when you know that what I do is important, not just to customers, but the people that work for me, but also to my family, I think that creates a sense of responsibility that would motivate me to work every day, and to work my ass off, So that's just me though. That's it.
And it's a very similar thing. Like, we set ourselves a 5-year plan.
Yeah.
We have an ambition that within 5 years will be 50 million per annum of revenue.
Wow.
People go, oh, lucky. Have you set that because you want to sell in 5 years' time? And it was like, no. In 5 years' time, Charles and I will both be 50.
Yeah.
If we sold, what would we do for the rest of our lives? It was really around setting setting a target, so we had something to work towards. And it's like, do I take you for a cup of coffee? If we didn't have that $50 million, number we're trying to hit, we'd probably say, oh, maybe in a month or two. I don't want to have to pay for that today. Whereas we go, cool. If we have that coffee today, it's probably going to help us get to that 50 million quicker than if we do it in a month or two's time. So it was really around giving us the ability to plan ahead. All right, let's put that person on today and not worry, like, rather than in 3 months' time, because it's going to help us achieve that end result we're looking for.
Just on this note as well, I mean, where do you, and it's great that you have these high objectives. It sounds like you're also pretty purpose driven as well, which makes me think I'm also like in the right space. You know what I mean? You're actually motivating me right now, knowing that, it seems like we've got similar values in mind as well. Where do you think the big opportunities lie in the cybersecurity industry moving forward within the next 5 years, let's say?
In the next 5 years, no idea.
No idea.
In the next 18 months, because you know what, like, I think things are moving at such a quick pace at the moment in cybersecurity, in the security world. I probably wouldn't be thinking too much beyond 2 years, because there's massive amounts happening. Even if you bring that back into your day-to-day job, look at how quickly things are being released and changed by Cloudflare at the moment. Every month there's a new add-on for cybersecurity because AI has been able to do something, or you've been able to get logs from a different area and now bring them into the platform to offer some more value. So there's a few things, like, I think the companies out there doing, and just my personal opinion, companies doing pen testing and SOC, they're commodity. Like SOCs these days, like, you've got the big players out there that provide SOC and provide it better than any of the local SOCs could potentially provide. Pen testing, that's going to be replaced by AI at some stage over the next 2 years. There's already a few US companies and startups that have created some pretty cool pen testing applications that you can use. I think probably the area for the next 2 years is around the consulting and going in, and that consulting being, what do you have today and what are you trying to achieve? Like, it's and then, all right, well, this is where you are in the journey and these are the steps to actually get to what you're trying to achieve. Do you have your own people? Great. All right. Do you need any assistance with giving them some guidance around certain technologies or ways of implementing it? Or do you want someone to actually come in and take that hard work off those people because they can then focus on other things in the business that they should be doing?
Right.
I definitely say would be around the consulting side of things and knowing what's happening in the market, knowing what's happening in the industries that the customer is in, and also then having a good support team behind you. So the vendors. So what threat intelligence can we get from you on the resourcing sector at the moment, or the education sector at the moment, or the retail sector at the moment, that we can then take back and share with the customer, or engage. Hey, have you spoken to Rohan? He's got some insights into what's happening in the online world at the moment with the AppSecs, the DevOps, and most of the people will be like, oh, no, I don't, but it'd be nice to have someone that can see globally what's happening, share some stuff locally. So I'd say, that would be my piece. 5 years, 3 years, I don't know. If I could say now, I think I'd be pretty rich in 3 years' time.
If you find out, let me know.
No, I think
fair enough.
I think actually one of the things that I do think is, though, crypto's been around for a long time now, but we're not seeing too much in the cybersecurity world around using crypto tokens or validation. So I make a change on a firewall. Every change that I make is part of a crypto string, so that you can then go back at any time and actually see when something happened in the blockchain. Yeah, so like I don't know. It's there's so much out there that I don't think we've seen just yet.
Yeah.
And maybe there is some of that crypto stuff out there in the cybersecurity that I haven't seen it, or even anything in your business. Like I make a change to a web application, I make a change to Oracle database, I make a change to my Office 365 environment. We made the change, what the change was, but all in that crypto, in the blockchain that you can build.
It's a great food for thought, and definitely something I'm gonna have a look into as well.
Might be some money there, mate. I'll give you, if you want to go explore that, I'm happy to throw in a couple of dollars and see what we can do.
There you go. Okay, all right. Game on. It's game on, all right? Yeah.
I was going to say, you outside of work, outside of the family, what keeps you going? What do you like to do?
I'm a sports guy.
Okay.
I used to do lots. So in high school, I did lots of boxing. Sorry, in high school, I did lots of basketball. I left that, and then I started getting into boxing just by coincidence.
Okay.
Just wanted to try something. I boxed for a number of years, not competitively, just out of hobby. And in the last 1 to 2 years, I actually picked up freestyle wrestling. So I've been training pretty consistently. This year I'm training about I would say very consistently, about 5-6 times.
When are you starting UFC, mate? Like when are you starting UFC with those two combined? Isn't that two things?
I got a contract waiting for me. No, it's just total hobby. I actually think it keeps me really sharp. I think it keeps me. I reckon there's a big correlation between people who play competitive sports and sales. I think there's a big correlation there, and I think it keeps me sharp around the edge. That's really it. I'm not looking to go pro or anything. I'm just trying to take something seriously outside of work, because you're a compilation of not just your 8 hours of the day. It's about how you do everything. You are how you do everything, right? So I actually had a competition on Saturday. So I won a bronze medal on Saturday. And last week I had bronchitis. So I wasn't sure if I was going to compete. Pretty much, I lost 2 kilos. So I'd actually fallen below in my weight class. I lost 2 kilos. And I was like, I pretty much said, fuck it. Let's give it a go anyway. And in the bronze medal match, I had to do a leg lace. So it's like where you tie the legs up and you do like a bit of a turn. And I kid you not, anyone that was there, Simon, I mean this. Anyone that was there said that they were really inspired by my match. I'm not just putting my own on, because when I finished the leg lace, I had no oxygen. I couldn't breathe, and so I had an asthma attack. So I won. I couldn't get up. and the referee told me, they said, Rohan, if you don't get up, we're gonna disqualify you. I said, shit, I gotta get up. I shook my opponent's hand. I shook the coach's hand, and I was on the mat for about 5 minutes. Like I couldn't get up, and then they were trying to get the next match going, and it was a whole thing. And afterwards, I actually got really it was a lot for me, because I know what it took for me to sacrifice to get here. It's just a local comp, but it took a lot. So I love to play sports.
So if you hadn't have been sick, do you reckon you would have won it? Like, did you watch the the final?
They were chumps, Simon. I would have, honestly, they just had more experience than me. I hope they're listening. Because next time they're getting ready,
Yeah. Well, mate, it's great to talk to you and do this, because I now know a lot about you. So that's always one of the things that I try to do, is get to know the people you talk to. So I know you've got a sister that loves to live off you, a mum and dad that are very hard workers, and set the standard for you. Two dogs, and you've got a dream which I absolutely love, which is to create your own business or be able to do something for yourself. So, and I'm if there's anything that I can do in any of your journey, happy to help out if possible.
I really appreciate that, Simon. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for your time today as well. I just want to say, you were very you're very responsive. You know what I mean? And you took You took, as soon as I asked some for a little bit of, I proposed the idea, you were very prompt. And I can already tell that you're the sort of person that, wants to give back and is happy to help out. And I hope when I'm in your position, I will definitely do the same as well. So I know that. So thank you so much. And thank you for coming on as well. I think we have a lot of information to share with people. And I think
I'll see you in a couple of weeks. I think in Sydney. I think I'm coming down and catching up with you. So
beautiful.
You won't be doing any training that afternoon.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan. Let me know.